organization for all the human resources professionals to stay ahead of the curve, keep abreast of latest information trends and best practices. And we are also an advocate of coaching. That's why you can see from my background there, we have Coaching Engage Plus, which is a platform connecting qualified coaches with their potential clients, subject matter professionals. Recently, we have started a survey on top challenges faced by HR leaders in Hong Kong. To address all these challenges, we have also embarked on a series of webinars. The first one was held on the 20th of August, which was my birthday. And we were very honored to have the CHRO of HKBN, Catherine, to share with us her experience in overseas outsourcing. Last Wednesday, we had Leslie to share her expertise on how to adapt to changes at Microsoft Hong Kong. And this week, we have a very pressing challenge. We are going to address this pressing challenge, which is multi-generational workplace. As you all know that, according to a survey, as of this year, Gen Z is comprised of 30% of global workforce. And Gen Zs were those who were born in the year of 1997 to 2012. And we are going to break this big topic into 4 areas, namely organization, work style, adoption of technology, and perception of authority. And we are very excited and very, very honored to have our speaker, who is Tina Jiang, Head of People at CBRE North Asia. And Tina is a member of CBRE Hong Kong Executive Committee. In her role, she leads the strategic direction and execution of people initiatives across the region. She rejoined CBRE in late 2019 as Head of People Advisory Services Hong Kong, following a brief tenure at Colliers as Head of People and Performance Hong Kong. This time, our format is a bit different. We are going to have Q&A, which will be started shortly. And you're welcome to put your question or comments on the comment box, and Tina will be more than happy to answer your questions. So before we start the session, Tina would like to add on anything on my introduction about you and so on before we start the Q&A session. Tina, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Hi, everyone. It's Tina here. Just to add on, this is my 11th year in CBRE. So I started as a very junior person as the HR VP and worked my way through to CBRE leading the people function across North Asia. So people always ask, like, what does that mean about North Asia? Actually, North Asia includes Hong Kong, Taiwan, China, and South Korea. And yeah, so let's start. I'm happy to share, and I have an open-minded mindset now, not only to share what we have in CBRE, but also reading through questions and try to understand the questions or challenges that we may come up with other HR colleagues. Thanks for having me, Rita.
Thank you so much, Tina. Okay, let's start the first one. What is one practical way leaders can balance formal emails with instant messages so all of generations feel included? So let me repeat the question. What is one practical way leaders can balance formal emails with instant messaging so all generations feel included? Tina?
Sure. I think the question that I'm going to answer here is more on my experience in CBRE and also outside work. So in CBRE, we do have diverse generation from baby boomer all the way to Gen Z. We not yet Gen Alpha, as they are still very young, but Gen Z is our youngest folks in our workplace. And of course, we have very traditional email, Outlook that we always use, and also within our organization, we have Microsoft Team software as well. So in terms of balancing formal emails with instant messages, one practice approach from CBRE is always establish the communication norm. So we always say that, oh, can you email us for the official documentation or instruction? When we have to side check some points or clarify some points, we'll use Teams. So in our organization, it's really establishing both system and blend into both style, using email for formal updates, position and documentation, and using Teams to check in. And also all our meetings actually is established through Teams rather than Zoom now. Although from time to time, I still love to use Zoom, but we also try to collaborate with different kind of communication style, make sure that everybody is comfortable with it. And in terms of the team technology that we have here in CBRE, we always make sure that there's a training session or the cheat sheet that we share across our organization, and make sure everybody is familiar with the whole system and how to use it.
Great, thank you, Tina. I remembered that when I was conducting this survey, right, one of the companies actually expressed this challenge to me. They said that they have a different means of communication within the organization. Sometimes one employee might use email to get back to them. Another employee will use Teams. So sometimes they just at a loss on which one proper channel that they should go to for this kind of communication. So they told me that it's still their headache. Any advice that you can give to them?
This is a hard one because other than that, we also have WhatsApp in Hong Kong. My team prefers to use Teams, but my line managers, they love to use WhatsApp. So I always have to make sure that I remember all the communication channel and check with it. And also in China, we also use WeChat. And then in Korea, we use Line. So it's very hard to keep up with all the apps. The way that I do it is I want to make sure that I try my best to minimize any misunderstanding across different styles, different platforms. If it's something that I'm not clear about, I will encourage clarification. That clarification would be definitely through Teams or email. And the way that I always communicate with my team is if I have an informal style or a platform on the messages, I will go back to email and make sure that we are all aligned. In a corporate or commercial world, email is the most official way to communicate. So I think my tips or my sharing will be definitely to make sure that we go back to the preferred tool, which is email Outlook, and to make sure that we have a clarity and confirmation on the messages and the content that we want to talk about.
Thank you, Tina. Go back to the preferred tool. Okay, very nice, very nice. So, and a lot of times there might be some misunderstanding, right? So how can we minimize this understanding, especially with different generations preferring different communication styles? So you just mentioned about their preferred tools, right? Apart from that, can you share with us some other tips on how to minimize these kinds of misunderstandings?
Phone. Phone or voice messages is a good way. We still use. And I still treasure in our organization to meet in person, definitely, or just pick up the phone and call the person. And it may sound a little bit cringy. I love to video call my colleagues just to not only talk to them through, through the voice call, but also the colleagues as well. Like I mentioned, it's always use the shared platform with feature like Teams or WhatsApp or WeChat. So I can also get the instant reaction, the facial expression from the colleague as well. Because sometimes they said they're clear on their email or on the messages, but actually they may not. And then seeing them on the video, then it would give me some hints that it's he or she really understanding what I'm saying, or if the feedback that I gave is already offended the person. So that's how I would minimize the misunderstanding or try to break down the misunderstanding and miscommunication. Yeah, back to the traditional way, calls or voice messages.
Yeah, I like it, especially you talk about in person, right? Or get them on Teams so that we mean the Teams meeting so that we can see their facial expression, their reaction, and so on. I really love it. Okay, so in terms of the work style, right? When we do, I think when we do interviews, when it comes to Gen Z, they will ask you, oh, would there be any arrangement for the company for them to work from home, this kind of stuff, right? Or any flexi work arrangement for the organization. So how would you deal with it, especially when companies like how would your company create this kind of environment that respects that kind of flexi work styles and structured style?
Sure. So in CBR, we do have work from home policy, and we do provide flexible work style, or we respect that. It's really about communication, and we allow our team members or our staff to co-create the workflow. For example, some of them prefer to sit together as a team, or some of them, they prefer to sit by themselves and to have a quiet time to focus. And some of the generation would like to, I work by myself, but during lunchtime to have lunch with my colleagues so I can communicate and exchange idea for the day. We do expect different kind of work style, but it's always about manage the expectation and about building the trust. So it always go back to the company culture that we're trying to create here. In our workplace, we create the company culture around trust, honesty, collaborations. So we do have even for our office, we are running on a activity-based office style. So we don't have a set seating area for everybody, including myself. So from time to time, we have a team gathering, a team meeting, just to check out on each person. And some people like it, some people don't, because every day you're sitting with different folks next to you. I really enjoyed it because I get to know people that is outside of my comfort zone or even outside of my work stakeholder social circle and such. So it's how we empower the flexibility in CBRE is very key. And we like I just mentioned and what I shared, we do highlight the differences in different work style and how are we going to manage and make sure that our technology is really capable to cater that needs. So everybody, we do have laptop, and then everybody in their laptop we have VPN. And at the same time, our office is designed in different work style as well. We have quiet room, we have group setting, we also have partition setting of desks. So, so back to your question, how we can respect both structure and flexible work styles and different kind of work styles. Again, it's about communication, manage expectation, and also don't undervalue the effect and the social gathering of your team and also with other team members as well. Because we do create lots of collaboration by having and acknowledging different work styles as well.
Wow, I really love it. So acknowledging different work styles.
Yes.
Would you give some tips to some to organizations whereby they don't really have this kind of flexi work arrangement, saying that, or we require all the staff to work in the office due to company policy or the business nature and so forth? What would be your tips for them?
Oh, that's a good one. So I feel like at this point I should sell CBRE service, like come check out our office. I think first of all, it's the workplace that has a very direct correlation of your work culture as well. And the other question that I want to ask our colleagues is, or HR folks is, what kind of organization culture would you like to create? Is it something what we have in CBRE, or it's a more traditional or more conservative? Because I understand from like a more American or North American driven company, they would want to have a flexi workplace, have an open communication kind of culture as well. But maybe for other, for example, more traditional work places like banking, maybe they would have a more conservative mindset that if something is really doable, or it could be compliance regulations as well. I think the first step is understand your work culture. That's number one. Number two is understanding your employee population and the demographic. What do they want from the management in order to create the culture? Because when we set up this office, before we started the renovation, we did a survey across Hong Kong office and asked them, what do you want to see? Some of them said, I love the flexi working space. Some of them said they don't. So we cannot cater everything, but we try our best to make it. We have a little bit of set table. We have a little bit of quiet table. We have a little bit of a group table, and also we realized that our employee also asked for lots of greenery, green plants around the office, because although sometimes they feel like they cannot go outside, but having some greeneries around them, they feel like there's some fresh air and there's a bit of outdoor elements into it as well. So I understand it's not everybody or all office would be able to cater like a flexi workplace, but I do encourage especially HR team or the management team to understand their culture, what kind of culture they want to create, and what kind of wants or needs that employee really asking for. Because at the end of the day, if you have happy employees, it would translate into high retention and high productivity as well.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Yeah, open communication with the employees, right? So that we are happy employees, and then the business will also be good. Okay, very nice. So here comes to the third area, technology adoption. So how can younger generation, younger employees play a positive role in helping colleagues adopt technology? How can younger employees play a positive role in helping colleagues adopt technology?
Sure. I think in the past we also have a stigma thinking that it's always older employee teaching the younger one, or the more senior employee teaching or mentoring the younger one. In our organization, we do see it that way, but we also see is a reverse way. So the younger employee mentoring and teaching the most senior employee or the leaders. So we recognize that in CBRE as well. So we created a mentoring circle. Mentoring circle is very similar concept as mentoring group, but how we do it is within that circle, within that group, it's not only senior folks mentoring the younger one. It's also the other way around. And also when we call it circle, it's because we see it as 360 degree of mentoring as well. So Yeah, so we encourage reverse mentoring. So our senior leaders may not know how to use AI, and we do have CBRE AI system as well. They don't know how to use it. They don't know how to ask the right questions. They don't know. They don't even know how to log into it. So we have young folks to teach them and show them this is how you do it. This is the questions that you should ask. And then we also have like a lunch and learn sharing session to share that, oh, this is the most advanced AI that you can use within our system. And also this the DeepSeek that we're using can generate PowerPoint and answer different kind of market research questions. So back to your question, we do encourage reverse mentoring or mentorship. And at the end of the day, we will ask them, like our mentoring circle group members, to do a sharing, to do some highlights, like what did you learn from each other, and how would you conclude the mentoring circle group as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that I think that's a very good one, because in the survey I could remember that some companies expressed that, oh, you always older generation needs to extend support to the young generation. Can they do
Yeah.
something for them? It seems that reverse mentoring is one of the answers for that, right? So although this is about technology, so besides technology, what else do you think young generation can extend support to the mature generation?
Uh, I think is, oh, I think I may have generalized everything, or from my perspective, it's in the past, the older generation think that, okay, if you have achieved something, is a given that you're supposed to achieve or do something well. But from the younger generation perspective, they always celebrate little wins, small wins. When they achieve a milestone, they will come to me and say, "Oh, Tina, I did that. What do you think?" They will they will ask for celebration and encouragement more. And I think senior generation or senior workforce would also need that to build confidence and to motivate going forward and then keep going to next level or to elevate themselves. But in the past, I think, especially in Chinese culture, the parents would think when you get an A, it's given, right? And so they forgot about celebration. It's not like they don't enjoy it. It just they they didn't have that habit. Um, it's also from my perspective, I do think it's a recognition and rewarding on their collaborative behavior when they collaborate across multi-generation. This is something that we should recognize and reward them and showcase them as well, to let them know this is what we did well and this is how we collaborate and create different kind of positive behavior and outcome and share across the company. So this is what we did as well for CBRE. And I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I like celebrating quick
Oh,
wins,
yeah.
right? And also recognition and rewards, right? I think it's very important for motivation, and young generations love it. Yeah, and I think it's also good for them to extend it, maybe, yeah, extend it to the sort of the old generation or mature generation, so that they can also feel the momentum and the spirit within the organization. Yeah, I think that's a good. Okay, so perception of authority. How
Mm.
can leaders balance the expectations of employees who value hierarchy with those who prefer collaboration? Tina, what
Um,
do you think?
how can leader balance the expectation? Okay.
Yeah.
I I think for our leaders, first of all, we ask them this kind of question, and then they would come back as, you need to know your people first. Like you need to know your staff, and you need to hierarchy. It's given in an organization, but how are
Mhm.
you using this hierarchy to create collaboration is another perspective, right? I think it's using a situational leadership approach. For example, to have some context needs clear authority. For example, it's compliance issue, or it's a black and white cases, then you need to use authority. Other benefits from shared decision making, collaborative decision making, then I would encourage that that would be collaboration elements in there. And from my perspective, it's also create forum for input. So town hall, feedback, like employee engagement survey, not only one-way communication, but it could be like two ways or three dimensions, while maintaining clarity in roles and accountabilities. And I think it's very hard to find fine balance between authority or hierarchy and between collaborations if you don't have a very set definition in your organization. Because there's some, like what we always say is, if you're too close to the employee, become friends with them, they don't see you as the manager, they see you as friend. And different issue will come up. For example, when you have to do restructure, when you have difficult conversation, the whole dynamic will be different. In the positive timing, you can collaborate very well. But when it's downturn, you have to make difficult commercial decision, then it's very hard for you to terminate or deliver the termination notice to them. So I think it's to draw a line, have a very clear boundary where you can be the manager and where you can be a very nice collaborator.
Okay, to draw a line, right? Okay, very nice. Okay, any questions from the attendees today? We still have 3 minutes. Anyone? Okay, it seems that you have answered all the questions, Tina. Yeah, very, very nice answers. So here comes my last question for you, Tina.
Sure.
I know that you have given us a lot of nuggets of wisdom today, especially on sharing the practice at CBRE. It's one thing that you really want us to take away from the session today. What would it be?
I think it's really the perception of authority, because, like I mentioned, I've been in CBRE for 11 years, right? Although in between I was outside and then I left, but many of the colleagues that I grew up with became not my peers anymore. So, like I mentioned, I did finding the balance quite hard for myself between authority, like management, versus being their peers, being the collaborator. I'm still learning. As how I can create the collaborative culture here, but yet not set an executive presence in front of everybody. I think it's a key takeaway for me that my self-definition is very important, and how I draw a line and set like invisible boundary is also very important.
Okay, so self-definition and how to draw a line, right? Okay,
yeah.
between authority and collaboration.
Correct,
okay.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So, okay, so here comes the end of our session today. Thank you, Tina. Especially you shared with us the practices and also some of the experience that you have had at CBRE. I'm sure that you have, I think CBRE has demonstrated a very good example for a lot of companies to learn in, I think, in the areas of work style, communication, and also adoption of technology, even in how to balance authority and
Yeah.
collaboration. Thank you so much. And as a continuation, thank you so much. As a continuation of this webinar, next Wednesday, we have invited the General Manager for Human Resources at Yatta. Yatta is Yattin in Hong Kong, right? Yatta is a big department store in Hong Kong. Christina is going to share with us some of the tips on how HR can also perform the function in the slowing economy. Okay, so everybody are invited to attend this session, and we'll send out details later. Thank you so much, and have a good day to everyone. And thanks, Tina, again.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks. Oh, Charles has a comment here. Okay, anyway, Charles said that Gen Z values flexibility and workplace balance, often prioritizing mental well-being and purpose over traditional corporate ladder climbing. Thank you, Charles, for the comments. Okay, see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.